Yo, what's good, everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about another defensive fundamental. I'm going to be talking about reactive play. Reactive play is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's just reacting to what the enemy team does and making sure that your reaction makes sense and is logical. Okay. Now, this is something that you can use in your ranked games. This is something that I've used to rank up to Radiant in multiple acts. Just being honest, I don't have the best aim or mechanics. My understanding of the agents and understanding of the game and my flexibility in my agent pool is something that kind of helps me. But also, I think I have really quick reactions to what the enemy team is doing, and because of that, I can put myself in good positions to win rounds and support my teammates. So what I'm going to do today is talk about reactive play, what it is, how you guys can kind of create playbooks for yourself, and set yourselves up for success. Okay. Before I get started with the video, I do want to plug my private coaching again. If you guys haven't joined my Discord, there's a link down below. If you're interested in private coaching with me, send me a DM. I do VOD review. I can do team VOD reviews. I can do individualized IGL coaching. I've coached other coaches in the past. I can do standard question and answer if you want to do agent mastery. Maybe you want to just take a look at your short-term goals and long-term goals, or if you want me to help you set up a routine, it's definitely something I can do as well. However you guys want to use the hour, I'm down to figure out ways to bring you a value. So if you have any interest in booking coaching with me, don't be shy. Shoot me a message and let's start improving. Let's start talking about reactive play now. Okay, and to highlight this, I wanted to use Valorant as my tool, and I wanted to talk about Ascent. And I mainly want to talk about ranked today, but this is something that is applicable to your team scrims as well. And so, generally, the enemy team on attack will tell you what they want to do very early in the round. It's very rare in ranked that teams are defaulting and breaking util and inserting people in certain places and running super elaborate strats at anything less than Radiant level, okay? So a lot of times, the enemy will tell you exactly what they want to do. So let's just bring up a couple examples of this on Ascent so you guys can see this. All right, what's the most standard comp we see in ranked? Omen, Reyna, Jet, Killjoy, and Sova. Okay? This is generally what we'll see. And so I want to list out a couple start of round options for you guys and talk about what your reactions should be. Okay? Now, if the enemy team decides that they want to go fast A, here's an option for them in terms of their start of round util. They'll throw an Omen blind off the start of the round. They'll go ahead and throw this dart on the Crane. The Reyna might throw a Reyna flash. The Jet could updraft dash, right? And then they go and throw smokes. And if they're really, really lucky, they have a Killjoy who has lineups for here and the Heaven Flood. Okay? This is like standard A rush. Okay? Now, if the enemy wants to rush B, what do? They Omen blind B, right? They might Reyna blind B as well. Okay? They might, if they're lucky, the Killjoy has like a anti-flood mollies again on this site, right? And then the Jet will kind of run up and dash switch, right? Pretty standard, okay? We don't need to have the agents in here, do we? So, yeah, I guess we can leave Jet. All right. So these are very common things that you might see in ranked. And I know for a fact this is what you guys are seeing in lower elos. I see it all the time in private sessions, okay? So, what are the other things you might see? You might see some mid-defaulting stuff. So when an Omen smokes Cat, what is the risk? It's that they're either mid-defaulting, but also that they could go and do a mid-B split, okay? Right? And if somebody smokes bottom mid, they could be defaulting mid as well, but there's also a threat of them doing an A split, correct? So usually what you want to do is you want to track the enemy's utility at the start of the round and try to make a generalized guess about what's to come next. Now, it's very obvious as to what's to come when they do this A rush or this B rush, right? But it's not as obvious when they do this bottom mid smoke or this Cat smoke, okay? But there's a higher chance that they do one of these mid splits and they don't run through the smoke in mid, okay? So my point is here, guys. Let the other team tell you what they're going to do when you're playing defense, okay? And what you should do as a player is you should, let's just say you're playing Sova and you're playing lane. You need to know what you're going to do no matter what if the enemy team does any of these 4 options. So in your head, you need to be processing in the pre-round. If they rush A, I'm going to do this. If they smoke cat, I'm going to do this. If they rush B, I'm going to do this. If they smoke bottom mid, I'm going to do this. And if you can start each round and kind of develop your own playbook in a sense, and have these kind of protocols, if you will, or ways that you respond to certain util sets from the enemy, you will become a very, very how do I say this? You become a very solid player in the sense that you'll respond really well to what the enemy is doing. You'll rotate quickly. You'll have a good understanding of what's to come in the round, and you'll be able to support your teammates really well. So, for example, let's say we're playing Sova and we're playing B, and our Killjoy is set up here with the turret B main, very standard, and they Omen blind B main. So the thing that you should be worried about most here as a Sova player, and I'll just kind of circle all this, and then I'll circle all of this, and just so you guys don't get mixed up here, you need to be worried about what is the worst case scenario if they rush your bomb site. That is the worst case scenario. So this is the one that affects you first. This B main play affects you first. So you need to be thinking about this. You need to be positioning yourself to counter this potential option for the attack side as a focus, as a primary focus. So what can you do? You can stand here at the start of the round with a shock dart and throw it off the roof or the window so it lands off the turret contact. This is a really good way to start the round. Now what you need to do is go a step further. It's not just, okay, how am I going to start the round, but how am I going to react? Am I going to reposition? Am I going to fall back sight? Am I going to dart high above B main? Am I going to spam? Am I going to jump up and play on lane and fight the B main choke? All of these things are very, very important. And what you need to do is you need to, in your head, process, what am I going to do if they rush me? What are they going to do? What am I going to do if they rush A? You need to have options for all 4 of these potential outcomes. And then you need to do a good job of describing what you're going to do to your site partner. So you need to communicate. And so you guys need to be on the same page, okay? This right here is probably the most impactful piece of ranked tech or ranked tips, like a ranked tip that I could give you, okay? I think there's so many people out there that are just reacting to what happens and not really anticipating. There's a huge difference between reaction and anticipation. When you anticipate something, you're already thinking about what's to come and what you're going to do. So you're already planning in your head for it, and when you plan ahead, you plan to succeed. If you're just reacting, you feel everything feels chaotic, scrambled. There's no thought really. You're just reacting impulsively. And when you do that, it's hard to make sure that your teammates are on the same page with you. And so I think this is something that you guys can do. There's a lot of people in my private sessions that go through and share individual playbooks with me. And these playbooks might have 30 different lineups for a certain agent on a map. But guys, it doesn't matter. It's important to have these, but you need to know how you should react to common situations. So what I want you guys to do as players is go through and think about what are the most common things that happen, or what are the most common things that the attack side do on a certain map. You should then think about where your agent plays and how they should respond and rotate to that information at the start of the round. Be very, very observant of the start of round util that's being thrown. Understand that people in ranked like to simplify things. And for you to simplify your own decision making, you just have these set reactions or protocols based on what the start of round util from the enemy team looks like. Hopefully this makes a lot of sense to you guys. This is probably one of the most impactful things you can do as a player in terms of building out your own playbooks, in my opinion. Once you have this down, you can go through and you can start adding lineups and all this other stuff and be really creative with your util and your tech. But I think it's more important that you start anticipating instead of reacting on defense. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop those questions down in the comment section below. And if you have any interest in private coaching, go ahead and hit me up on Discord. I'd love to sit there. I'd honestly love to do stuff like this with you guys. Come up with playbooks on how you should respond to the most common util sets or the most common things that happen in ranked. Okay, it's not the easiest thing to do, but with a little bit of hard work and a little bit of thought, you can make it happen, and you can become a better player for it. All right, and you will rank up if you do this on every single map on the agents that you play. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the support as of late. If you guys haven't already, join my Discord, check out my Twitch streams. If you come into my Twitch chat, ask me any question. I'm very open in there. I hope to see you guys around. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one. Good night.